Well, this is where we made the movie, so we're glad to be back to see many of the people who helped us make the movie and invite them to a party. Oh, fantastic. I mean, we had a wonderful script and an amazing cast of characters. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen. Wonderful, wonderful cast.
Oh my God, it's bringing it home. It feels amazing. We filmed so much of it here, and it just felt great coming home and sharing this. And yeah, it's just all the best adventures end up at home. Oh my God, it was a scream. It was so much fun. He's hilarious and hardworking. He worked us all really, really hard. And yeah, it was wonderful. I think because he's a reluctant hero, and I think because he's witty and you never really know what's going to come out of his mouth, and I think there's humour and action and stakes and incredible spectacles. I think it's just got everything. God, well, it was made for it. I mean, the places that we go, the pictures that Jim has painted are just so extraordinary. And also, it's really immersive. Like, all the action sequences are incredible. And also, it's just really nice to be with other people when you're on a ride like an Indiana Jones movie. Oh my God, what's not in store for them? I mean, there is everything in this movie. They just packed it in, and I think it's really moving. And I think that's the thing that's unique about the movie, is that there's a sort of profundity to it that's so afforded and earned by the fact that it's the last one, and the fact that he's a little bit older, and I think that's something that's unique about it.
I mean, we make films, it's all about the fans, it's all about the audience, and this is not a small portion of it. It's London. I know they have a special place in their hearts for Indiana Jones, so it's special. Blown fan. I was 15 years old when I watched the first film. I watched it again and again with my brother, and just wishing I was Indiana Jones. Here I am, 42 years later. Him, obviously. I thought the young version or the older version. Just see him. Oh, it's just fantastic to see Harrison Ford, and then when he wears the hat and the whip, nothing beats it. Well, Lucas, Spielberg, and Harrison. Harrison, without his charm, this film would not have been what it is. You got to see it on the big screen, because if you've seen the first film, you remember what happens there. This is a full experience. You can watch it the third time on a small one.
Well, it's always a great thing to be back in London with a great premiere. I mean, the connection of Britain and Pinewood with the Indiana Jones films was there right from the beginning. So I have been here before, and you never know, might be back again. Well, each one is different, but the joy of working with a young actor clearly destined to be a great star was one of the joys. And of course, a young director in the beginning who changed filmmaking when he did Raiders of the Lost Ark. We changed filmmaking. This last one, We got a great script, great director, superb cast, and of course a very, very great star, you know, reprising his greatest role in many ways. Oh, the madness of being in the desert in the first one, I suppose. It was great fun. But then working with Connery and Harrison in the third. I only have a cameo in this, but more fool them. But it was great to come back. I'm wholly in love with Karen Allen anyway, but it was just lovely to see this new and possible final iteration of the Indiana Jones thing. Because it's what every young boy wants to be. I probably have met somewhere between 300 or 500 professional museum curators or archaeologists, all of whom said, you know what made me want to be an archaeologist? Watching Indiana Jones. Of course, we don't do it that way these more. Harrison and I belong to the loot and scoot school of archaeology, I'm afraid.
Well, it feels wonderful to bring it to England, and it also feels like home because it's where our home base was. You know, all our crew were British, and we shot all over England and Scotland, and of course our home base was Pinewood. So, you know, I spent almost a year living here and loved it. So it's really a joy to bring it and also share it with so many of the people who made it with us. Well, he's a dear friend. He's one of the greatest movie stars of all time, but also I think when you become a movie star, people overlook what a fine actor he is. He is a great actor who's always not just been dashing and handsome and strong and decisive in his movies, but also brings his unique personality, eccentricities, foibles, tics, craziness, and unpredictability and comedy to every movie. And he's just a miracle, and it's been the opportunity of a lifetime to make a movie with him, along with all my other collaborators on this, from John Williams to George Lucas to Steven Spielberg to Kathleen Kennedy, onward and onward. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I mean, it's been an absolute joy. He is the sound of Indiana Jones, and he is also, John Williams is one of the preeminent composers of all time for movies, and has brought orchestral music and shared orchestral music with the world at a time when people have looked elsewhere for most of the music they're listening to. Has found a way to take traditional classic movie scores and take them to a level that fetches the imagination and soars the mind and moves the heart.
I think what's amazing is that the legacy characters and our new cast get along unbelievably well. I think that's what's been really fun to watch, is so many people just love this series. And our cast is amazing. Harrison and Phoebe are excellent, and our John Rhys-Davies and our legacy characters have had a great time. Karen Allen coming in at the end is pretty special. I think it's because Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones is such an everyman. You know, people can relate to him. He's not perfect. He's not a superhero. He's just a regular guy who cares about what he does.
Yeah, he's not a superhero. He can get hurt. He can make a mistake. He's a regular bloke, as we say here.
Like Harrison.
Yeah.
he just makes it a joy. You know, he's just fun and always energetic, always having a good time. So
Well, and it was great because over 40 years ago we started here out at Elstree Studios, so it's great to have the final chapter here and be back again.
I think movies need to be on the big screen. And this is, you know, this has everything about it that makes you feel like a kid again. And being immersed on the big screen that's what the fun of movies is.
Yeah, you can't go on an adventure with Indiana Jones without being on the big screen.
Yeah. It's a mixture. It depends on whether you grew up with these films or whether it's new. And I think certainly people who grew up with Indiana Jones, there's a real sense of completion, but also just recognizing that, you know, they shared a life with him, essentially, which is pretty cool.
I agree.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, we've got, where do we start? Indiana Jones, that's an obvious one. We have returning with us Sallah, who I think is a highlight of the movie for me. As a fan, it's no secret now, Karen Allen, the wonderful Marion Ravenwood, again, one of my favorite characters of all time. And then joining them, we've got the fabulous Mads Mikkelsen, playing one of the greatest villains. We have Ethann Isidore, who's playing Teddy, who is an amazing discovery. It's his first kind of big movie, and he did an incredible job with that. Then we have Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is just wonderful and brings so much heart to the movie, and she's just fabulous and a joy. And then I can keep going. We've got Boyd Holbrook, who I love, who's playing one of Mads's kind of sidekicks, who's wonderful. For me, it's the fact that actually he does get things wrong. He's somebody who has a lot of luck. He's not a superhero. He's an average guy, and the thing I love is that he uses his wits. He uses what goes wrong to his advantage a lot of the time, and I think that makes him a very human character, much more relatable. And of course, he's played by this icon standing next to us, who's pretty special. Amazing. I mean, Harrison is a legend. He's, for me, the term movie star, I think very few people encapsulate that, honestly, today. And, Harrison's one of them. There's no one I can think of who's had more iconic roles than Harrison, and he's a joy. He's such a professional. I think he does everything 110% himself and expects that from the crew, and he's a fabulous leader. For me, I think Indiana Jones is the closest of the characters he's played to actual Harrison, who's quite the adventurer himself. It's a huge movie. It's a huge movie shot in multiple countries on a gigantic scale. I mean, the story unfolds in New York, obviously, as you guys know, now in World War II, the end of World War II. We then go to Morocco, we go to Sicily, the most beautiful places, and then the end of the movie takes place in a different location, which is quite special and needs to be seen on the biggest format possible. I really hope a satisfying conclusion to what is an incredible series, and I think, outside of Harry Potter, I can't think of something where you've actually seen the actors grow with the character, and I think it's a really fantastic send-off for this icon, and it's a really emotional, for me, I think it's a really emotional ending to the movie, and an emotional ending to the franchise. So hopefully it's very satisfying, and people can then go back and watch them from the very beginning and see that whole journey. It's quite unique.